Hello and welcome back to another episode of Catching Up with Kenzie. Today we bring you along for a behind-the-scenes look at Great Harvest Bread Company. Joined by Kenneth Ulrich, owner of the Great Harvest Bread Company, to answer a few questions. To start off, tell me a little bit about how Great Harvest came to be.
So Great Harvest is actually a nationwide franchise. It's headquartered in Dillon, Montana. It was formed in the 1970s by a young couple still in college who believed in fresh baked products. They started baking bread and selling it locally, and then eventually grew into a franchise across the country with over 200 locations. Still headquartered in Dillon, Montana. Very much true to Montana in terms of whole ingredients and natural, just the culture is very much driven by Montana. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes. I think they were my age and they started
yes.
a whole
Yeah, they were actually going to college at Cornell and they decided to move to Montana and start a business out there.
Wow, that is so incredible. Yes. I love that. So what is a typical day at work like for you?
So I usually get here about 8 o'clock in the morning. The crew comes in at 6 o'clock in the morning and starts baking early every day. So they start before I come in. We start baking bread and sweets every day at 6 in the morning. By the time I get here, stuff is coming out of the oven already. And I just kind of make sure everything is ready for the day. We have an opener in the morning. There are a few customers that come in the morning for breakfast and sweets. And we get busy around noon. People come in for our bread that was baked that day. It's hot coming out of the oven and ready to be sliced around noon. So it gets busier during the day. I'll stay till about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon just to make sure everything's okay, and then hand it over to my closers and they stay till 7 and close. So I've got a great crew in the morning, great crew during the day and in the afternoon that I can trust 100%. And it allows me to be here when I need to be and be away when I want to be. So it's a good balance.
That's awesome. Have people you can rely on to keep things running smoothly.
Yes.
So you guys bake everything fresh every day then?
Yes, fresh every day.
Wow, that's awesome. And walk me through your company's bread making process.
All right, so everything, if you come in at 6 o'clock in the morning, everything's going to be like a bag of flour or water coming out of the tap or yeast in the refrigerator. We start mixing it in the bowl. We put the honey, the sweetener, the water, the flour, and some yeast in the bowl. That makes what's called a sponge. That sits for about an hour. And then we'll add the other ingredients. If it's a cheese bread, we'll add the cheese to it or other things to the bread. And that turns into, we call it a dough. That turns into the dough, which rises after we mix it, rises for 2 more hours. So 3 hours from the time it began until the time it's ready to go on the table. And then everything gets weighed and by hand and cut and kneaded by hand and shaped and put in pans and proofs for about another hour. Then into the oven for about 45 minutes and out of the oven. So 6 hours after we started making that bread, it's coming out of the oven. And fresh every day, made that morning, kneaded by hand. And then it cools until it's ready to be sliced, and we can slice and bag it and then sell it that day.
Wow, that's a long process.
Yes.
A lot goes into it.
Yes.
Well worth it, I'm sure.
It is.
And what is one of your favorite parts about working here?
So this is going to sound very cliche, but it's definitely the customers. Sometimes I'll sit here in the lobby and do work in the morning if I'm just doing paperwork or whatever, and I'll sit up here and customers don't realize who I am. Not that I'm anybody famous, but they come in, they don't realize I'm the owner. And I'll listen to the interaction between the customer and my staff and just kind of pick up on some things and maybe talk to the customers a little bit. But we have a real strong following of loyal customers that come in almost every day. I see the same faces, or at least once a week, and it's just great to see the people from the community come in and connect with us, and we can connect with them. And around the holidays, we're very much a part of their traditions. I have this story that I love telling. About 3 or 4 years ago, this woman came into the bakery one day looking for a loaf of challah. She had to have a loaf of challah, which is a traditional Jewish bread. We bake it a couple times a week, and our challah is very good. It's one of the best loaves of challah you can find. And she needed a loaf of challah. We didn't have it that day, so she was very upset. And to me, I'm thinking, it's just a loaf of bread. How big of a deal can this be? But to her, it was a family tradition. They did it every year, and she had to have that loaf of bread. So it made me realize how important we are to our customers' traditions and family and holidays, and just making part of their home celebration that much more special by coming here. And we have people come in every Christmas and get the same products and make it part of their Christmas celebration, their Thanksgiving celebration.
How rewarding to
is.
know that you guys play a small piece in traditions and family and holidays. That's amazing. And one part of your mission statement is to give generously to others.
Yes.
How do you think your company lives that out?
So we are very committed to giving bread back to the community. When we bake bread, the day it's baked and the day after it's baked, we consider it fresh baked bread, and we'll sell it in the store. Once it's if it sits for 2 days, we consider it stale bread at that point. We won't sell it any longer. It moves to a donation basket. And once a week I have several organizations that come in and pick up bread, whether it's a local church and they're sharing it with families, or refugees, or maybe people in subsidized housing, or kids in school that are in food programs. We work through all these organizations to give our products back into those hands, and I don't ever want to throw anything away. If we can't sell it, we'll give it back to the community and make sure that it gets, because it's still good. Our bread's good for a week, even though we don't sell it fresh. It stays fresh for a week at least, so we can still give it away and people can eat it, and it's very nutritious, so it's good for them to get. We also support a lot of local charities. I'll get a lot of schools coming and asking us to support their boosters clubs or different things like that. We support the Rotary Club in Williamston every year. We're part of their duck race campaign. So just very important to me to be a part of the community and show that appreciation back to the people who make us successful and allow us to stay in business by coming in every day.
Absolutely. I think that's so important, and I know it means a lot to them, and it helps grow that relationship and keeps people coming back and wanting to support you.
Yes.
What is one of your favorite menu items and why?
So, believe it or not, my favorite bread here is our sourdough bread.
Oh, wow.
Which we started making about 3 years ago. We make a very, very good sourdough bread. I mean, everything we make is very good. It's a very simple, slow fermenting bread. The reason I like it is it's probably the most traditional bread you can buy. It's water, flour, yeast, and a little bit of salt, and that's all that goes into it. 4 ingredients, and we can make sourdough, we can make French, we can make Italian, we can make baguettes out of that same dough. And it's just, to me, it's like that's what bread is. It's very, European and rustic and very traditional bread. That's my favorite bread, just probably because it's so simple and kind of, part of what bread is supposed to be like.
For sure. I can't imagine there's anything here that's not good, but I'm glad you could pick a favorite.
Yep.
And one last question, what is the future goal you have for the year of 2020?
That's a great question. So I think I probably have 2 answers to that. One is, as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of loyal customers that come in every year or every week, and I'd like to get more people aware of us because I think we're a great alternative in terms of healthy products. Our bread is far superior to commercial bread that you would buy at a grocery store, just in terms of the ingredients and the process, the way it's made. It's better for you. So I'd like to get more people aware of us and coming in. And we're also trying to build more of our breakfast business and lunch and catering business. And we do a lot of things you wouldn't think of as a bakery doing, but we make sandwiches, we make a lot of breakfast sweets, and we're just a great source if you have a catering opportunity or you want to bring sandwiches to your office, or just come in for lunch and stop, and you can sit here and enjoy our free Wi-Fi and the environment, as you said earlier, just smells great in here. It's just a great environment to sit. So I'd like people to be more aware of us in terms of lunch, breakfast, and catering.
Absolutely. I walked in and I was like, wow, they've got it all. Like it's a bread company, but you sell dog treats and you do have the sweets behind us. So that's amazing.
Yes.
And that's all the questions I have for you,
Okay.
Kenneth. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so excited to explore more of the business.
Thank you very much for having us on your show.
Of course. Oh my gosh. How cool. Do you twist the bread before you bake it?
We braid
then?
it, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So this is a 3-strand braid, and there's a 4-strand, and different ways to shape it in a round. And so around the Jewish holidays, we'll do the round challah and add raisins or fruit to it, which is more of a Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur tradition. So we try to make sure around the holidays we're making the right kind of bread for different customers. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
but it's
goodness.
It's a beautiful loaf of bread.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at that. I don't even want to eat it. Oh my gosh. So these all get sliced up before
These will get,
you put them in the bag.
Yes, our sandwich bread gets sliced. Everything else does not get sliced.
And what are all the different kinds you guys have up here?
So this one right here is our spinach feta. And then we have a white cheddar stromboli, which is like a pizza bread. And then this is our sourdough. And then, cranberry walnut.
Very nice. They all look so yummy.
They're very good. So this is our jalapeno cheddar garlic. This is the banana bread. And then this is for our spring bread. We're making the strawberry shortcake, and this is our baguette.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Strawberry shortcake.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, there you are. Oh my goodness. It's like a muffin.
Yeah.
Like it's not even
so light and fluffy, and it's just fresh.
fresh.
Epitome of like spring in a bread form. Yeah.
Seriously. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's amazing. That's insane. And you guys do free samples every day
Yes.
to the public?
Yes.
Yeah.
Run. I'll be back every day. That's all for today's episode of Catching Up with Kenzie. Today, we brought you along for a look at all the yummy treats here at Great Harvest Bread Company. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to visit HOMTV.net for more information.